Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE that seemed to really have traded flat for most of the day. Of course, we did get good news out on the economic data front, with inflation for March actually cooling sharply from 3.2% to 2.7% in March year on year. Of course, that falling below the lower end of the 3 to 6% target range set by the South African Reserve Bank. So as I mentioned, the all-share trading relatively flat, just 0.07% below that flat line. We do have the Resources 10 complex there, as it was trying its utmost to pull that bourse down with a sharp decline of almost 5%, but going in the opposite direction. Financial 15 eking out gains of more than 1.5%, and the Industrial 25 climbing by almost 1.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the market stateside, and quite a rally there, extending the gains that we had seen yesterday, seeming that the markets are baking in hopes of calmer waters between the U.S. and China on the trade front. The U.S. Treasury Secretary saying that there's a big opportunity for a deal concerning trade. So hopefully we can get those parties coming to the negotiation table. Also, investors holding on to a turnaround by Trump, saying that he has no intention of firing Fed Chair Jerome Powell before his term ends in 2026. We do have the tech-heavy Nasdaq carrying most of those gains, surging by almost 3.5%. The S&P 500 rocketing by more than 2%, and the Dow popping by more than 1.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the markets across the Atlantic, and positive optimism filtering through to those markets there, particularly on the DAX there in Germany, up by almost 3.5%. France's CAC 40 they're climbing by almost 2.5%, and the UK's FTSE 100 with a gain of more than 1%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Remaining relatively stable against the US dollar at 18 rand 65, against the pound, the local unit at 24 rand 77, and against the euro at 21.21. Let's take a look at the other currency pairs. Euro dollar at 1.13, pound dollar at 1.32, and the yen just above 142 against the greenback.